Good Tuesday evening, June 10th, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. Our media partner, the Wenatchee World, reports that 2 weeks before he allegedly killed his 3 daughters, Travis Decker sought out veteran services in Grant County. A trail user in Pine Canyon outside Waterville was rescued Sunday after apparently falling up to 15 feet in rocky terrain. Another hot and even breezy day on tap for Wednesday, with breezy and cooler weather expected by Thursday. Your full local weather forecast is straight ahead. Police agencies have refocused their search for accused child murderer Travis Decker, swarming into a corner of Chelan County off Blewett Pass. The unincorporated community of Valley High and residents on nearby Ingalls Creek Road were warned Monday night to secure their homes and called 911 in case of suspicious activity. That situation persisted into this evening and forced Cascade School District buses to drop off children near the foot of Blewett Pass rather than in their neighborhoods. More than a dozen police agencies staged their vehicles today at the 97 Rock House Coffee Bar along Highway 97. They declined to provide any updates to NCWLIFE reporters. Decker is charged with murder and kidnapping in the deaths of his daughters Olivia, age 5, Evelyn, age 8, and Peyton, age 9, whose bodies were found just over a week ago. He's thought to still be at large in or around the Enchantments Wilderness area. Decker is 5 feet 8 inches tall with black hair and brown eyes. He has several identifying arm and torso tattoos. Anyone seeing him is urged to call 911 immediately and not to approach him. Our media partner, the Wenatchee World, reports that 2 weeks before he allegedly killed his 3 daughters, Travis Decker sought out veteran services in Grant County. Therapists with the Grant County Veterans Service Office in Moses Lake told the newspaper Decker visited their facility on May 16th, but the office allegedly didn't have enough therapeutic resources to help him at that time. Decker picked up his daughters for a scheduled visitation on May 30th, and the girls never returned. Veterans advocates say it illustrates a growing crisis for those who've served as they seek mental health treatment in Central Washington. Services, including Central Washington Veterans Counseling in Wenatchee, say they're at capacity and relying on emergency donations as contracts languish with the Department of Veterans Affairs. A Chumstick Valley man has won a new trial for his 2023 standoff with police. Abel Damon Wilkes, now 50 years old, is serving a 45-month prison sentence for second-degree assault. The Washington Court of Appeals ruled today that Chelan County prosecutors violated state evidence rules by suggesting Wilkes posed a danger to the community. Sheriff's deputies were called to Wilkes' trailer on Mary Canyon Road in March of 2023 after he was accused of pointing a rifle at a neighbor. The incident dragged out for 20 hours after Wilkes refused to meet with police and the East Cascade SWAT team was summoned. The appeals court ruled that Judge Robert Jordan improperly allowed testimony about the SWAT team, Wilkes' collection of firearms, and police use of an armored vehicle to destroy his trailer home during that standoff. Appellate Judge Robert Lawrence Berry wrote that Chelan County prosecutors sought to prove their case by portraying Wilkes as a dangerous person. County prosecutors have the option to ask the Washington Supreme Court to review that appellate decision. At least 2 structures have been destroyed in the Red Bridge fire near Cle Elum in neighboring Kittitas County. The wildfire started yesterday just before 4 p.m. and is estimated at 44 acres. There are level 3 evacuations in place north of Red Bridge Road between Wheel Ridge Road and the Teanaway River. There are also level 2 evacuations from Highway 970 to Red Bridge Road and from Teanaway Road to the Teanaway River. The Southeast Washington Incident Management Team took command of the fire this morning, supported by the Washington Department of Natural Resources and State's Fire Marshal's Office. Fire crews have yet to establish containment on that blaze. When we come back, a hiring impasse that led longtime Chelan County Auditor Skip Moore to threaten resignation has been resolved. And 2 separate accidents in the Columbia Basin over the weekend resulted in 2 fatalities. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Merry Maids can clean your entire home, business, or vacation rental from top to bottom, inside and out. Merry Maids will even take care of cleaning your carpets, and they can pressure wash your home. Merry Maids has thousands of happy customers. They've been cleaning homes and businesses in our valley for over 25 years. Check out their glowing reviews at merrymaidesofwenatchee.com and call the cleaning experts, Merry Maids, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed, so relax. It's done.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
A hiring impasse that led longtime Chelan County Auditor Skip Moore to threaten resignation has been resolved. Chelan County Commissioners agreed on Monday to pay for a Chief Deputy Auditor position in Moore's office. Moore, who's managed Chelan County's Records and Elections Office since 2009, said day-to-day operations were impaired by lack of a Chief Deputy and had told commissioners he might leave before his term ends next year. The board, with Commissioner Brad Hawkins absent, voted unanimously to adopt the Chief Deputy Auditor position with a salary range of nearly $83,000 to $109,000 a year. Recruitment for the deputy spot will begin right away. Douglas County has extended the application deadline for its open interim prosecuting attorney position. The role is currently held by Gordon Edgar, who was first elected to the position in 2018 and will retire on June 30th. Those interested in the job must be an attorney and will need to submit their application by Wednesday, June 25th, which is a 2-week extension of the original June 12th deadline. The prosecutor's political party would normally recommend candidates for the job, but Edgar ran as an independent in his last election, leading the county to open up the process. The selected candidate will complete Edgar's remaining term, which ends on December 31st, 2026. More information on how to apply can be found on the Douglas County website. A trail user in Pine Canyon outside Waterville was rescued Sunday after apparently falling up to 15 feet in rocky terrain. Waterville's ambulance agency says it was summoned about noon on a report of a fall along the trail that leads to a popular rock face. The patient was disoriented but did not appear to have life-threatening injuries. Waterville EMS was assisted by Ballard Ambulance, the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department rope team, and the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. 2 separate accidents in the Columbia Basin over the weekend resulted in 2 fatalities. The Washington State Patrol says early Saturday morning, a 36-year-old Quincy man was killed on Highway 281 in Quincy when his northbound Toyota Camry collided with the rear of a northbound trailer being towed by a semi. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. His identity is being withheld pending notification. The driver of the semi was not injured. Then on Sunday, just before noon, an unnamed pedestrian was apparently in the roadway on I-90 at the milepost 175 exit in Moses Lake when they were hit by an eastbound Subaru Forester. The driver and passenger were not injured. Both incidents are under investigation. Coming up next, North Central Washington Libraries and the Chelan Douglas Land Trust are teaming up to promote creativity and getting outdoors. Much more on that coming up in tonight's feature story. Expect hot and breezy weather tomorrow with cooler temperatures expected by Thursday. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
North Central Libraries and the Chelan Douglas Land Trust are teaming up to promote creativity and getting outdoors. The organizations collaborated to create a series of 3 events called Art on the Trails, where attendees create art projects at the shelters of different trailheads. In tonight's feature story, NCWLIFE News spoke with the Art on the Trails organizers ahead of their Story Stones program at Castle Rock Trailhead last week.
Really, this kind of came about because I was inspired by Katie's programming of Art in the Park. I thought that was a really wonderful idea just to bring people outside. I'm somebody that's really passionate about art and just bringing more people into the outdoors.
So Art on the Park's been going, I think, about 2 years now. So we just take supplies and a picnic blanket out front of the library and hang out in Memorial Park doing a different art project, which we did kind of as a way to allow teens to try different art styles without having to put in the big investment of, I bought all the supplies to do this thing, because that's expensive and hard for a lot of people to do. Yeah. And so we really wanted to kind of get people outside because we have that gorgeous park right there. And then Isla came to us and was like, hey, we want to do more stuff at the library, and in particular, I love this event and would like to see it kind of expand. And so we brought this out. This is our second one in a series of 3 for this year.
A lot of the programming that we've provided in the past is kind of hike focused. And so I thought about, well, what are different ways to bring people outside without, having a hike? Because hikes aren't really for everybody, or some people have that physical limitation that doesn't allow them to do the hike, but we can still gain the benefits of being outdoors and do something fun. At the start of the event, I usually try to share just a little bit of information about the property, and then I also have trail maps. So for people who may not be familiar with the trail or kind of what it looks like, I can let them know, and they can be here and kind of decrease some of that discomfort into like getting to a new place and not really sure how to navigate it. That's kind of what our hope is in like bringing people out and familiarizing themselves with the outdoors and the resources we have here. The Story Stone focus is on creating a collaborative story based on what people design on their stone. And so it kind of inspired by, libraries and creating stories and coming together as a community, but also being really creative with it and seeing what kind of like your imagination comes up with. So people will be able to paint whatever they like on the stone. And then as a group, we'll come up with a story that involves all of the little images that they have.
First one, we did watercolor postcards. So we were out at Saddle Rock. Kind of everybody had a postcard and some watercolors to just kind of paint whatever they felt like. But then they could keep it or send it to somebody else. And then our next one is going to be book page flowers in September at Kenzie's Landing. And so we'll kind of use old book pages from books that were damaged or advanced reader copies that we can't use or sell or give away for art projects. And so we'll turn them into flowers and give everyone some fun decor to kind of decorate their home in the fall. Our mission is to connect people with resources in our region. And so, you know, really saying, here's a trail that anyone can access and what does that look like to go out there. I know later this summer, we have another partnership with the Wenatchee River Institute, and they're going to kind of come and talk about, like, how do families get out on the trail? Like, what do you need? What's the bare minimum? How can you do it? And so things like that, where we're finding these partnerships of, like, let's talk about, you know, it's not accessible for everyone to just get outside without knowing what they're getting themselves into. And so finding partners like Isla who can kind of help to guide people in that direction. Like, I didn't know there were these shelters, but they're here at all the parks that we're going to. And so, you know, getting the word out about that and kind of connecting those communities, because I think a lot of times we have, like, you know, different pockets of people who know things, and then how do we bring them all together?
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic Tuesday. Felt like another one of those midsummer days instead of kind of still an early June day out there. Beautiful shot down at the Wenatchee Valley from our tower camera up on Wenatchee Heights, and nothing but blue sky out there, although we did see some kind of high wispy clouds at times out there today. Didn't do much to help us keep those temperatures down as we set, yes, another record, and we'll talk about that in a second. But this is what we can expect moving forward. As we get into Wednesday, we are going to see windy conditions. Today, about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Tomorrow, the winds will be closer to 15 to 30 miles an hour with even some bigger gusts in the afternoon. And I think we'll see some of those winds on Thursday about 10 to 20 miles an hour too. And with the low relative humidity, the potential for rapid spread of any new wildfires definitely there. And then we expect to cool down as we get into Thursday. We'll talk about that as well coming up. Set a new record today unofficially, 97 degrees. Our old record, 96. That was set in 2015. And look at where we should be for this time of year, 77 degrees, 20 degrees above normal, 72 again. That's our third day in a row that we've hit overnight lows of 70 or higher. Unbelievable overnight lows. 54 is our normal low, and 42 our record set in 1973. Sunrise, it's staying at 5:04 right now, and sunset at 8:57. All right, getting you into our forecast for Wednesday. Temperatures still going to be much above normal, but a little better than we've seen. 97 for Moses Lake and Ephrata, 96 in Quincy, 94 for Ellensburg, and then lower 90s from Wenatchee up into Chelan, Omak also at 93, 91 in Leavenworth, and 92 degrees tomorrow afternoon in Kashmir. As we get you into tonight, mostly clear skies, still seeing the effects of this large area of high pressure, but with this low kind of sneaking into eastern Washington, that's why we're seeing those breezy conditions. Another night tonight with lows right around 70 degrees, and then as we get into Wednesday, there are those winds right here in central Washington. We'll still be hot tomorrow with high temperatures into the low 90s. For Thursday, that's where we get the break as low pressure kind of takes over in Washington state. That's where we'll see a little breezier conditions as well. Mostly sunny skies as we get more into a northwesterly flow of air. Look at high temperatures for Thursday, down into the mid 80s, so that'll be a nice cool down. By the time we get to Friday and the end of our work week, mostly sunny skies once again. It will be cooler as this low pumps some cooler air down the backside of a high pressure system, and that will bring temperatures down to about 80 degrees for a high on Friday, and that'll be a nice relief, won't it, for most of us? For Saturday, sunny skies all over the western United States. What a beautiful start to our weekend with high temperatures in the lower 80s. So we will transition from unseasonably hot to seasonally warm as we get into the weekend. Sunny and nice on Sunday with high temperatures in the mid 80s, and pretty much a persistence forecast then plan as we get you into the first part of next week as well. For your Monday, more sunshine early on with partly cloudy skies by afternoon. Going to stay on the warm side with high temperatures Monday in the mid-80s. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, 69 to 70 degrees overnight tonight, 93 tomorrow with some breezy conditions in the afternoon. We'll see those breezes continue on Thursday with the big cool down too. 84 then, down to 80 degrees for Friday under mostly sunny skies. And then we'll stay, as I mentioned, seasonally warm from Saturday through Monday with lots of sunshine and high temperatures in the low to mid 80s. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Well, a good Tuesday to you. The Mariners scored 4 runs with 2 outs in the 9th inning to force extra innings, only to see Arizona's Josh Naylor hit a walk-off grand slam home run in the 11th to win it 8-4. The Diamondbacks got out to an early lead on a solo home run in the bottom of the 1st inning off Seattle starter Emerson Hancock. Arizona would add to the lead to make it a 4-0 game heading into the 9th inning. Just 1 out away from a 4-0 win. Well, Seattle turned that around. They mounted an incredible 4-run comeback.
This is into the gap in right center field, and that's exactly what Donovan Solano will do. He's driven in a run the last 2 games now. Now the Mariners put their first run across with 2 outs in the 9th inning. 2-2. Fights it off, and it's into right field. Solano is coming home. And the Mariners score now 2 runs with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Things get a little more interesting as the tying run now comes to the plate. But the former Diamondback just recalled today, Dom Canzone will bat here. Home run ties this game. Here's the 3-2. Fly ball! This is happening! Can you believe this? The Mariners have come back to tie it. Dom Canzone with 2 outs and 2 strikes. Wow! It has all happened in the 9th inning.
And here comes Josh, who has hit the ball hard all night long. He comes up with a winning run 90 feet away, bases loaded and 1 out. High fly ball way back. Josh Naylor all the way to the wall, and it's a walk-off grand slam. Just the 3rd walk-off grand slam in Diamondbacks history, and the first since Ryan Roberts back in 2011. 2nd career walk-off homer for Naylor.
Manager Dan Wilson stood impressed afterwards on what his team did in the 9th inning and lamented that they didn't get the win.
Unbelievable comeback by our guys tonight. Emerson, gave us 5 and thought he did a nice job and keeping them, pretty quiet offensively. And, we were fairly quiet offensively until that 9th inning where we got some really big hits, 2 outs. And then, of course, the big blow by Dom, to tie it up. And obviously getting him back and him doing that is a huge moment and a really big part of the game. And, just weren't able to push one across there in the extras. But you just continue to see the fight in these guys and continue to see them bounce back time after time, and this time we were just a little bit short.
The two teams play again tonight at 6:40. That game broadcast on Root Sports Northwest. Well, the Angels and Athletics were the only other American League West teams playing last night, and they were playing each other. The Angels came out on top 7-4. With Houston being idle, the Mariner gap behind first place widened to a full 3 games. The Angels leapfrogged Texas into third place, with the Rangers also idle last night. All Seattle's early season success can be directly attributed to the play of catcher Cal Raleigh. The national spotlight has found Raleigh, who is off to one of the best starts by a catcher in Major League history. Raleigh leads the majors with 26 home runs. It's not just his play that has caught the national attention of Major League Baseball. It's also his nickname, the Big Dumper.
The big leagues have produced some big players. Walter Johnson was the Big Train. Paul Wainer was Big Poison. Lance Parrish was the Big Wheel. Adam Dunn, the Big Donkey. Lance Berkman, Big Puma. Cecil Fielder, Big Daddy. And of course, Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. But maybe the best big nickname of them all was the one bestowed upon Randy Johnson, the Big Unit, who came of age in the early 1990s to be the mulleted maestro of the Seattle Mariners. It's appropriate then that the Mariners have something big going on again. In franchise lore, the Big Unit was worthy of a big battery mate, and now he has one in none other than the Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Legend, Cal Raleigh! Let's be clear, Raleigh could have had an undistinguished catching career, could have been a bust or a backup or a bench warmer, and we would still be of the opinion that he has one of the greatest nicknames in baseball today. In a genre that has gravitated too much toward uncreative hyphenations akin to the one bestowed upon another former Mariner in A-Rod, the Big Dumper name stands out even more than the broad backside that inspired it. It was former Mariners outfielder Jared Kelenic who first started calling Cal Raleigh the Big Dumper. And though Raleigh was initially cool to the reference to his derriere, not wanting to be the butt of any jokes, he's come around to it, and we're glad he did. Because as this slugging, squatting, switch-hitting superstar shines for the M's both at and behind the dish, the Big Dumper denomination is getting the big attention it deserves.
Is your nickname Big Dumper? Yes. Do you think Big Dumper is the best nickname in baseball? Yes.
Raleigh's contributions on both sides of the ball make him one of the most valuable players in the game, especially on a Mariners team that entered the year with major question marks in the lineup. The Big Dumper trails only Aaron Judge in wins above replacement, and he could become just the 9th catcher in history to produce at least 8 WAR in a season. So Cal Raleigh has a great nickname, yes, but more importantly, he's a great player. He squats, he swats, and he trots. And as the Dumper delivers, once again, there's something big happening in Seattle.
Thanks to MLB Network's John Miller for his work on this special about Cal Raleigh. We can only hope he stays healthy and continues to play well for the Mariners. The Wenatchee Apple Sox are back home at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium to begin a series against Kamloops tonight. The North Paws and Apple Sox are both off to a 6-3 start. Blake Sandvik will get his second start for the Apple Sox this summer. The junior from Everett Community College is 1-0 with a 0 earned run average. Kamloops will go with University of Fraser Valley junior Mason Chen, who is 0-1 with an ERA at 6. Game starts at 6:35 at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Wenatchee and Kamloops are sharing first place in the West Coast League's North standings with Bellingham. Edmonton is 4-2, while Victoria is 5-4. Nanaimo is 2 games back at 4-5. Port Angeles and Kelowna are off to 2-7 starts. Well, NCWLIFE channel will be out at the ballpark tomorrow night for Game 2 of this series. Join yours truly and Brandon Schmitten with the call, beginning with our pregame at 6:30 tomorrow night. That's Check It Sports News. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Tuesday.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.